The King's back. 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 The King's back.
Yeah, what's up? What's good? What's happening? Welcome to Wake Up with the Actual King Smith. We are live December the 15th, this Monday. It is less than 20 degrees outside right now. It is colder than a polar bear's toenails. Hope y'all are doing all right wherever y'all are at. Today's live stream is one that it's nothing but somber news when you take a look at some of the things that's going on around the world. And there were two particular stories that had happened over the weekend that I want to share as they're lessons. They're lessons that remind you to keep your head on a swivel, especially around this coming holiday season where some people just can't find a reason to be merry. All right. There were two tragedies that hit the headlines over the last 48 hours. One happened on the college campus in the US and another at a community holiday event in Australia. And as a dad, as a father with a daughter that is in college, these kind of stories, they hit a little bit different for me. Because whether your loved ones are 1,000 miles away at a school event or gathered around for an event for the holidays with family, things happen that are a reminder that you should keep your head on the swivel no matter where you're at. Why does this matter to us? This matters to us because violence can hit you anytime, anywhere, doing anything. The college campus, holiday celebration, public park, school mall. My goal here tonight isn't to just report the facts, but to help us think about family safety, how to look at being fearful versus preparedness, and things that you can share with your loved ones or your family so that you can enjoy yourself while also keeping your head on a swivel. So let's talk about the first thing that I want to hit up, and that is the Brown University shooting. And here's the facts. On December the 13th, just after 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Zone, a gunman opened fire inside of the engineering and physics building at Brown University in Providence, Rhode Island. The attack took place during a final exam review session in which dozens of students were present. Now, there were 2 casualties, in which 2 students were killed and 9 others were wounded. Some are still listed as critical. Police initially detained a person of interest, but has released that person, and no suspect, as of right now, has been charged or publicly identified yet. The authorities have released a video of a suspect wearing dark clothing, but have not confirmed identities. Now, across the campus, students were placed on lockdown for hours as police had combed the campus. And Brown did what I think that they should have done and canceled the rest of the semester so that students could get home safely. That part right there stood out to me. I am literally 24 hours from picking up my own kid for the holiday season, right? And as these things occur, I like to send them to her as a reminder that she should always keep her head on a swivel. That's always been my thing. Now, for those of y'all that don't know that term, right? Keep your head on a swivel. This is what your head looks like when it's swiveling. It's I think it's originally like a sports term, right? You want to ensure that you're like looking and catching what's going on so that you don't get blindsided by anything. That's what keeping your head on the swivel means for my non-English as a first language speaking people that watch this show. All right. One of the students has been publicly identified by the name of Ella Cook. A college campus is supposed to be a place of learning and growth, not a crime scene. I think that you should have education and use stories like this to remind yourself that the world's simply not a safe place. Again, the purpose of me having these conversations with my live stream and with my daughter is to remind her that evil out there exists in the world. Doesn't care what your skin color is, doesn't care whether you vote Republican, Democrat, or whatever. Doesn't care if you had a 2-parent household. Doesn't care if you are wealthy or poor. Evil is evil and will come after you no matter what. Now, there were a lot of fantastic events that happened around the world as well. People did go out, celebrate, have birthdays, get married, get divorced, do whatever. These are students that were just studying for their final exams. And they ended up catching the wrong end of some bullets. I don't think that there's anything that we as a society can do better when you have people that are just going to be intent on watching the world burn. It is my hope that the person who is responsible for this gets arrested, caught, and that justice is served. I understand that some parents, some people, that there can really be no justice when it comes to losing their kids that were at college, that are just trying to get an education and better their mind and better their knowledge. In Australia, at the infamous Bondi Beach on December the 14th, around 6:47 p.m. Eastern Time Zone, in Sydney, Australia, 2 gunmen opened fire during a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach hosted by the Chabad community. Now, police in that incident declared it a terrorist attack with anti-Semitic motivation. I hate saying that word because I'll never know if I'm saying it right. Anti-Semitic. In this scenario, it was bad. 16 people were killed, including one of the shooters, and 43 people were injured, ranging from children to older adults. The shooters was a father and a son combination armed with licensed firearms. And when you looked at the video, in that instance, that video was bad. I can't show the video on this live stream because it'll violate all kinds of terms of service agreements. But if you go Googling it, or if you go on Twitter or X, whatever they call it now, the video's there. One of the most heroic things that I saw from that video was a guy, as they were holding this long ass rifle, taking shots at the event. A bystander intervened, disarming the attacker that survived, but before police was able to come in and subdue the situation. Now I'm going to take a step left here and talk about one particular thing that occurred, in which it's being reported that there were police already on the scene, but that these police did not shoot because they were not armed. And I'm sitting here thinking, Australia, WTF, how are you going to have unarmed police? What's the point in that case? Now I'm thinking, and I'm curious, are there countries or people where they have a police force, but their police force isn't armed? If something pops off, what are they going to do? That doesn't make sense to me. Who knows how many people lives could have been saved if these unarmed police were actually armed. Now, Australian leaders and police, like I said earlier, have labeled this a terrorist incident, and a discussion is currently underway about changes in gun licensing laws, and that this is considered one of the deadliest mass shootings in Australia since 1996. Again, it's not just the U.S. that has a gun problem. I'm going to call it a problem. Everywhere you turn around, somebody's getting shot, especially in Chicago. I don't think Chicago can go 24 hours without a gun-related incident. I have a homeboy that's from Chicago, and every time I talk bad about Chicago, I clip it and send it to him. Bondi Beach, even though I've never been to Australia. Bondi Beach is one of the world's most publicly recognized places. If you've seen footage of Australia and a beach, then you've likely seen Bondi Beach. This attack, though, was highly targeted, as it was targeting a religious and cultural celebration. Now, I'm going to say this, and then I got to go prep to get to my 9 to 5. If you're a parent or somebody with a loved one at college, or even thinking about college, events like what happened at Brown hits deep. I talk to my daughter fairly regularly. I wouldn't say every day, but we talk often, if not at least a text message, just to kind of have a check-in from time to time. And I feel like as her parent, it's my duty to ensure that she understands the evil and things that occur out in the world. It's not just enough that she wakes up, preps herself, and then she gets herself from point A to point B so that she could get to class and back and whatever extracurriculars that she has. She has to keep her head on a swivel at all costs. It's not just the people on campus that she has to worry about, but it's other people in the community that are just bad actors. Now, I was talking a little bit earlier about looking at things from being prepared versus looking at things out of fear. And in my opinion, You can't live in constant fear. You shouldn't do it. However, you should prepare your loved ones with real safety practices. Have discussions about what ifs. I came from the military, and in the military, we would do drills all the time. And while I hated drills, absolutely 100% hated them, I can see how doing those drills prepared you for when something popped off, you were ready to react just like that. Things didn't necessarily hit you off guard and you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. No, I was prepared. Have drills with your loved ones from time to time. Talk about the what if scenarios. Whenever I'm at a new place with my loved ones, sometimes I verbally say, hey, if something pops off, here's what we're doing. It's sad that I have to think that way, but I'm always constantly keeping my head on the swivel. Know those emergency alerts. If you have a loved one in college, sign up for their emergency action messages system. The college that my daughter goes to has that. Anytime something happens in the local area, they'll shoot off an email and a text message. I know sometimes before Castle calls me to tells me what happens. Have those check-ins from time to time with your loved ones as well. Communication matters. Encourage your people to use all campus resources available as they're getting to and from class, especially if they have some night classes. These are things that you can discuss. Tell them not to be on their headphones, heads down, because you never know what could pop off at any given time. Nobody thinks that while you're having a finals exam prep, that somebody's going skitty pop and let off rounds. You don't think that that's going to occur, especially at a college like Brown. I don't think Brown has had any incidents in the past like this. Not that I'm aware of anyway. Do you think that there are safety measures that colleges and public spaces should adopt in today's day and age? In Australia, where they have strict gun laws, attacks like this can still happen. So what gaps exist? In the US, we're hearing way too many frequent conversations about shootings on campus at a national level. Way too frequent. One of the people at the Brown University shooting who wasn't at the place that this attack happened about 8 years earlier was a part of a high school college shooting in which she got shot in the abdomen and survived. So she survives one school shooting incident to then 8 years later be connected to a second one. Imagine the kind of PTSD that she's living with. True post-traumatic stress disorder, to get an alert on your cell phone to go into a lockdown because there's a school shooting. And this is this person's second in under a decade. Folks are grieving. People are grieving. Loved ones are lost. Folks are anxious, especially after events like this. Am I the only one that talks about these kind of things with their children? How easy or hard of a conversation was it, if you are having conversations, like this. What safety tips or advice have you found helpful? And how do you balance letting your kids live life and keeping them safe? If you've got some things that you can share, put it down in the comment section so that others can learn, and maybe you can make it easier for somebody to have a not so easy conversation with their loved one. Put that one thing in the chat that you would want your kid to remember in an emergency. For me, I always tell my daughter this. I say, look, if something pops off, get to safety, try your best to remain calm, and contact your folks. It's not like there's much that I can do, being that I'm not right there on campus with her, but I think that the best thing that I could do, it's not for me really, is to try to help her be calm. The best thing that you can do in a situation like that is to remain calm to the best that you can. I'm 41 years, 41 now. 41. And I've been in a lot of high impact, high stressful situations. I had somebody say, man, King, you are one of the most chill people I know. It's like, man, I've been shot at. I've been in a car accident. I've almost flown into a mountain. I've been shot at by AAA. I mean, you know, life has hit you, boy. There's not a lot of things that can surprise me based on life. The best thing that I could do is be calm and collected and try to help those that are in need around me. And then later on, allow my body to decompress. Tragic that life has hit me that way, but that's, that's life. Some people can go through life and not have any trauma happen to them. I think everybody actually has trauma. The level of trauma that occurs depends on your lifestyle, depends on a couple of other factors. And that's not to say that somebody's trauma is greater or worse than somebody else's. I just think that there's different levels of it. God happened to me said that one of the victims in Australia was a Holocaust survivor. Goodness gracious. You survived the Holocaust just to then get to where you spend time with your loved ones and then you lose your life over something like this. And she said that that's truly sad. It is indeed truly sad. In closing, today's tragedy reminds us that life can be unpredictable. They also remind us how precious that our loved ones are, how valuable their lives and futures are. Stay connected to your people. Help prepare them. Focus on building safe environments and having safe practices. Not living in fear, but with a vigilant mindset. Check on your loved ones. Be kind. Be supportive. And hug your kids when you see them. I'm the actual King Smith. Y'all have a good one. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah. Trumpets blare the golden call. A throne awaits, I rise so tall. Drums like thunder, shake the hall. Royal robe, I wear the weight. Diamonds cut the night, no debate. Heavy is the head, but I'm feeling great. Crown me king, horns will shout, let the kingdom power I bring. Yeah. Bring.